explanations. Rob Harris has been keeping a close eye on it all, and he joins me from Nice. Rob, great seeing you as always. Now, what's the latest development on the ground?
Well, as we understand things, Michel Platini is still in custody in Paris, talking to the investigators, specialist investigators involved in corruption and financial crimes, and they want to know just why Michel Platini voted the way he did, not only for the 2022 World Cup, but also for Euro 2016, which France beat Turkey to host. And as it stands now, what we're hearing from Platini's side is the reason that they've undergone this particular detention is because they want to separate from any other people that might be of interest. Now, one of the things you referenced there is political pressures, and Sepp Blatter has talked about it many times. Did Michel Platini change how he was going to vote because of pressure from Nicolas Sarkozy, the then French president? Platini had this event, this dinner in Paris with not only Sarkozy but the future Emir of Qatar, and Blatter believed that he had a gentleman's agreement before this took place, the fact they would vote for the United States. And after that, it seems that Sarkozy changed his mind. Sarkozy denies that, but he said Platini says that Sarkozy never asked him to vote for Qatar, but he said, "I knew what would be good."
OK, well, following on from that, are we expecting others to be detained in this investigation?
Well, one of Nicolas Sarkozy's former staff has also been detained. Another official from the Elysee at the time has been questioned, all to find out what just went on at this meal attended by the Qataris and Sarkozy, and whether or not the voting for 2022 was discussed. It was just less than 2 weeks before that monumental vote in Zurich that took the World Cup to the Middle East for the first time. And the reason it was such a shock when the executive committee took the decision was not only questions over the lack of football culture in Qatar, but also the fact FIFA's own inspection report said it was high risk for heat. And obviously down the line, the tournament had to be moved from June, July to November, December, just to cope with the weather in the Gulf nation, and then subsequently obviously all the scrutiny over labour rights and human rights in Qatar to help build the country for the World Cup.
Well, you just mentioned as well that Platini was questioned over the 2016 Euros that were handed to France, and as you know, Turkey lost out by a vote. Look, does this investigation go deeper than just the World Cup? Does this include the goings-on in UEFA?
Well, yes, that was what it seems. And if we cast our minds back to that vote, it was a very narrow vote. France only beat Turkey 7-6 to host it. And there was some surprise at the time, the fact that Michel Platini came and brought Nicolas Sarkozy came on stage at the big final decision. So, you know, there's a big role for Sarkozy then as well. And that is now something that the French are indeed looking at, just what was behind the UEFA decision to take the Euros to France. Heard nothing from UEFA today. We've heard from FIFA, who said that they will always cooperate with investigations while knowing no specifics, they say, on this Qatar case.
OK, well, this whole debacle has been going on for almost a decade. What will it take to get to a conclusion?
Well, obviously, one of the key things we'll wait for now is what will the French authorities decide to do with Michel Platini? They have 24 hours to question him before they have to seek an extension. Will they decide to charge him? They've got many other sports investigations that are underway as well. They've been looking into the IAAF taking the World Championships to Doha this year. The PSG president is embroiled in that. They've also been looking at the awarding of the Olympics to Tokyo in 2020 and whether there was corruption in that. So, you know, there's many sports bidding investigations that we're trying to wait for the conclusion of from these French authorities. And FIFA have obviously investigated the whole 2018-2022 World Cup bidding process. They found that with Qatar's bid, that while it might not have met the standards expected of FIFA, there was no evidence of improper activity by the bid team. But I mean, right up until kickoff in November 2022, there are going to be those questions about just how Qatar won the rights to host the World Cup, even if there isn't a criminal case as a result of it.
OK, well, the plot certainly thickens. Rob Harris, thank you very much for speaking to Beyond the Game.